What up, though? You already know how it goes. Smash, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment as long as you comment. You dig. Shout out to all my supporters. We're at 18,200 and growing. Man, hopefully I hit 20,000 by next week. I never thought that it'd even be that many, and I'm not even up there like, some of the other channels, but it's moving, and I appreciate all the love that y'all been showing me, support me, everything. I appreciate y'all, man. For real, for real. Let's get into this video. Let me give you an overall, and two, before I get into this video, I want to say far as the Moorish Science Temple of America, which I'm about to talk about, the overall general perception and general operations of the Moorish Science Temple of America in prison. The whole, okay, not the whole, but a few people said to me in my comments, quite a few people, and even on Instagram, they said that I rep the Moorish Science Temple of America like a gang, like it's a gang. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I do. And if you look at the definition of gang, it's a body of people with the same beliefs, right? And then you go down, it's a body of people who believe in the core values, usually criminal organization. But yeah, a gang and a religion is the same thing. The Bloods believe in something. The Melanics believe in something. The GDs believe in something. It's a body of people to move according to the same ideology, same rules and regulations. So a gang or religion is not that much different. You dig what I'm talking about? So far as rapping it like a gang, we got to make it a little bit cooler for people to join the Moorish Science Temple of America, especially young people. The Prophet did say that us young Moors will set you old Moors in the back. And shout out to the brother Campbell Ill for teaching me that when the Prophet said old, he wasn't referring to age. He was referring to the old ways. The Moors just caught up on racism, caught up on what happened in the 60s, caught up on what happened in the 50s and the 70s and the racism that was going on, and the white devil this, white devil that. And us young guys, we not on that. A majority of us not on that because, those barriers have been broken down to an extent. I ain't saying they not there, but it's been broken down. Just making it cool. I see a lot of people in the comments say Big Five, Big Five, almighty blessings to you, so on and so forth. When the vice lords do it, it's cool because I guess they consider the game, but a lot of the terminologies they use, to and fro, palms up, five, that come from the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's us. You know what I'm saying? So if we were very influential at the time that those gangs were coming up and they was doing, or the organizations were coming up, if we were influential during those times, why not be that way now? When people look at the Moorish Science Temple of America in prison, they looking at it like, oh, it's an old group of people. I even hear the word, the bandits, the B bandits, They kind of look at us a little bit messed up. They respect us. Don't get it twisted. They respect us, and they know that you touch a Moorish American, things are going to happen. It's just not, on most yards, things are going to happen, especially depending on who the first lieutenant, the acting, Grand Sheik. It's going to always be a retaliation of whatever you do to us. So don't get it twisted like people, just disrespect us. But a lot of the young guys gravitate towards the gangs because we don't be on the folly that the gangs be on, robbing and extorting people. I'm not saying that it don't happen. I'm not saying Moors don't do it. Yes, we do it. I've done it. Other people done it. I've seen people press other people and, take all their commissary, have their people send them money, have them terrified for their life. I've seen that multiple times from Moorish Americans. But the difference is we got to creep and do it. We can't go to our Grand Sheik and be like, hey, man, I want to go extort this guy. I'm like, nah, Mo, we don't do that. We're not getting involved in that. Most Grand Sheiks will do that. I would say 90% of them are like, nah, don't do that. You can't extort them for this, and that, But the gangs, the criminal organizations, the people, and when I say gangs, I don't mean to disrespect the GDs. I don't mean to disrespect the Lords, the Stones, so on and so forth. But that's what it's labeled in prison. That's what it's labeled in the world. It's not a lawfully chartered organization. Not every member of a gang or organization, street organization, are criminals at all. Okay, so y'all need to understand that first and foremost. But this is just the terminology I use. Okay, we got to make the science cool again. We got to make people want to join it. We got to link up with the Bloods. We got to link up with the Crips. That's why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he does not shame the gangs. He say, yeah, be in your gang. Rep your set. Be in that gang. Stop the gang banging. That's the aspect to be messing us up, is the gang banging over colors, over territory. That's what messed the gangs up. That's what give them a bad name. Because Charleston White, even though I think he kind of different, and I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that he say, but he very opinionated and intelligent man. He said something very, 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 very touching to me, and it's the truth. Crips and Bloods don't kill more black people than the KKK. It's the truth. The genocide been going on for years. The Klan ain't even active as the Crips and Bloods. At least out here on the turf, at least out here harming, African Americans or people of pigmentation, or the Jews that they hate us on and stuff. They not doing all this to them. It's us doing it to us. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to make it a little bit cooler. That's why I link up and rock with the Stones. That's why I link up, rock with the Stone Bloods, and just trying to get them a different perspective of the temple. But I'm not gonna lie, the Moors and the prison give us out here and in there a bad name because of some of the stuff that they allow. With that being said, I think I'm gonna try to link up with the Grand Governor or a very influential Moor out here with some ranking inside the temple as far as the government status, and send a memo out to a lot of the prisons and tell them to change some things, because a lot more people would come over if it wasn't that stigma about the homosexuality. Because in prison, that means a whole lot. That means a whole lot to guys, because it's such a masculine, testosterone-filled environment. You know what I'm saying? So people, don't want to associate themselves with that, to be honest with you. They don't, but us, they understand what's going on. We understand what type of world we in prison. We look at it a type of way, but we, it's cool. This is a religion. They don't say nothing when the Christians got homosexuals. They don't say nothing, when the Wiccans got homosexuals in it. So, this is to save people. You know what I'm saying? This is to save people. I wouldn't say, don't be who you are. I would never say that. I would never kick out or want to kick out people because of their sexual preference. But what I would put in the memo, if I had the choice, hey, Moors, you got to do paperwork. And I'm not saying kick out all the people that told on people, nothing like that. I'm saying when you invite a guy, that got 27 counts of CSC against a 6 and 7 year old girls, you have to do this from a distance. Okay, you could come over, but don't put the bad ill on your name, because that really makes us look bad, like we accept any and everything. And to be honest with you, the gangs do too. Just they okay, let me see your paperwork. Or you didn't tell on nobody. Or if you're real popular, you're a money getter, they'll make every excuse to make it seem like you didn't tell on that person. They accept you too, but since we so big and we move like we move, everybody want to hate on us. Everybody want to put a 10 on a 1. They make it seem a lot worse than what it is. But the Moorish Science Temple of America is a great thing. So I know that was a long little spiel, but I had to get that out. Nah, the Moorish Science Temple of America is an older group of people. Let's just say it's 100 Moors on a yard. I would say at least 50 of them, 50 and over. Another 30 of them, 40 of them, 40 and over. And then you got a few young guys. This under, 30. But nevertheless, it's still a lot of Moors, a lot of old school guys. And it's crazy to me, a lot of Moors, they all got natural life sentences. And I think that probably played a role in us growing and being so vicious early on in those days, because you got a bunch of people with absolutely nothing to live for. You know what I'm saying? So That's a scary situation to be around. When I think about it, like the guys that was around, I'm like, these guys actually stopped people from going home 10, 15, 20 years ago, and maybe multiple times over minor stuff. You heard the story of Young Gil told. I think about Bogart, Hill, them boys. It's crazy. But the Moorish Science Temple of America was established in 1913 AD. The first temple was in Newark, New Jersey. We follow the prophet Noble Timothy Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him. He was born in North Carolina, 1886 AD, January 8th. We don't really know his origins like that, because he didn't want to put it out there where he lived and who his parents was and all this and that, because he didn't want the focus to be on him. He didn't want shrines made out of him, but he wanted people to follow the one true source, and that's the creator which we come from. And that's a selfless act. When you got that much popularity, you got temples all over the country, you got people willing to die, kill for you, people in the army, people in the government, and then you say, hey, don't worry about me. Allah, don't worry about where I come from and all that. I brought you something. I brought you a healing power. I brought you something that you could save the world, but first save yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real big thing for me. That he did. That's real. Inside prison. Oh, excuse me. Before we get into that, you got a bunch of different types of Moors. Every Moorish American is from Islam. Our religion is called Islamism, but all of them are not. Some of them Christian, some so forth. Moorish is a nationality. The religion is Islamism. A lot of people confuse that. And for the people that confuse us getting literature from the Vice Lords, we were around way before the late 50s, the 60s when the Vice Lords came around. No. Okay. And we not Masons, but we do have some of their sayings and signs and symbols and so on and so forth. May be a little difference in meaning, but it's that. Our head official was called the Grand Sheik. That's the guy who called all the shots. He's the head of the government. And he's also the head mufti, which is the lawbringer, the spiritual advisor, the security. The head guy. We always put security around the Grand Sheik. That's a big deal, especially on some yards where it can get a little dangerous and things been popping off. And you know, you don't want to get caught up in the mix by mistake walking past somebody and get it. So we always put security on the Grand Sheik. When we come to yard, we organize. If my unit comes out first, I'll go walk past everybody. On your right, on your right, on your left, on your left. I'm walking past. Bird Hill, I'm walking past. Get to the yard and watch everybody come in. So you come check in. All you got to do is come say, hey, Islam, Big Five, so I can see you. And I'll count you. And we got these people in the yard. And then also I know, okay, the Grand Sheik out here, the chairman out here. All right, one person shadow him, one person shadow him. You know, we going to chill over here in the middle. We're going to be over here at the picnic table. We're going to play dominoes. You know, we're going to do a round every 30 minutes. When you go to the bathroom, we can put somebody on you so you walk to the bathroom and have security. So it's very, very organized. Far as security on the yard, we know where all the spirit set, the Blizz Naives, shout out Young Gil. We know where they at. Some buried, some on the table, some by the basketball court. People might have them on them, depending on what the climate is and what's going on. But we know where it's at just in case things go down. We don't like Moors coming to yard and don't say nothing because we might miss you. And then something pop off, we'll say, damn, we only counted 25 people out here today. And all 25 of us right here, something just popped off over there. We don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's why checking in is important, because we'd be like, oh, what a 26 person in? Let's see if that was him, because we don't want you going on or getting in anything by yourself. It's a brotherhood. A majority of the Moors, I believe, are good people. We got some real weird ones. Don't get it twisted. We got some real weird ones, real crazy ones, but we got some good people because we got a good religion and some good literature that really you can apply to any point in your life, no matter what you're doing, whether it's good or bad, whether you're pimping or you're going to work every day. You can apply this literature to your life. The Moors are under a red flag with a green 5-pointed star, the red for the nation of the Bloods, nation that The blood the nation spilled for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The green stands for everlasting life. The 5 is love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when those are violated, justice must take its course. We got a Moorish one-on-ones. That's 101 question in a questionnaire that you got to remember. You should remember. A lot of people don't, but a lot, you want to be knowledgeable. It's just like being in any other organization. The more you know, the more you can become renowned. The more you can get into positions, the more you can be a spiritual advisor. How you gonna bring the spirits to somebody if you don't know it? So it's imperative that you study. That's another reason people don't like messing with the Moors, because they make you study. They are all the older guys. Remember Bay, Gray Bay. Hey, you study. Kendall Bay, man, you study. What's Key 98? What's Key 90? Like every day you studying. How do you apply this to your life? Okay, what if a brother is going through it? He just lost somebody. What would you do? What would you read him? Well, I'll read him. Death is no enemy of man. It's a friend who, when the works of life is done, simply cuts the cord about a human both the earth, so may sail on smooth seas. You might be able to hit them with that. They want you prepared. The Moors, you got some foul ones that that send you on missions and you're about to go home. And I wouldn't even say foul. Some of the brothers they institutionalize, or they just don't ask, hey, how long you doing? But you got the brothers that do know how long you doing. And, they usually take up and say, hey, nah, I'll do that. Or no, we'll send him. He got life. He about to go home. So the Moors care about you. If they know your time, they really ain't going to send you on no dummy missions like other gangs will. Other people be like, well, you about to parole, but if you don't, you only got a year left after that. You better go put it on before you go home. And people be dying to get rank. But that's the overall perception of the Moors and the Moorish Science Temple of America. Big 5T. Also too, cancelbadcredit.com. I know y'all said my last ad was too long in the front. You're right, I did do like 4 minutes on it. But cancelbadcredit.com, I'm gonna drop more and more on that throughout the week. I apologize that I ain't been hitting y'all with content like I usually do, but it's been hella hectic, extra hours, snowstorms, slow drives to work, slow drives back. Me always hustling and working. It'd be hard to drop the videos, but I'm going to try to drop at least in the next 2 weeks, at least 25, 30 videos and pull up on some people. Young Gil again, part 3, and some and other people, period. Michigan Mail Home, RTM. I know he got a story. I hope he hit me back. He already did, but I hope he hit me back and mess with what I'm doing. Because I know he got some crazy stories to tell you. 82 got some crazy stories to tell you. And I'm going to link him up with Baby J. We're going to have some fun, man. Peace and blessings be to y'all. Be at 5.